So students, the same chapter which we were discussing, grade 10th history, nationalism in India. So the topic which we have to discuss, the last topic, that is the sense of collective belongingness. Now here we have to see how the sense of common identity or collective belongingness was developed among Indians during the freedom struggle. Like in the case of Europe, we have seen the rise of nationalism in Europe. In this chapter, we have seen what steps were taken, various steps were taken by the French revolutionaries in order to create a sense of common identity among the French people. And in this we have seen various steps which they have taken: the introduction of La Patrie, Les Citoyens. Then we have seen the introduction of a new tricolor French flag which replaced the former royal standard. And then we have seen new hymns were composed, oaths taken, and martyrs commemorated. And then regional dialects were discouraged and French was made the common language. So these steps, they promoted the common identity. They create a sense of common identity among the French people. Similarly, which factor played important role here in our case and created a sense of common identity among the Indians? So nationalism, the feeling for the love, the feelings of proudness or patriotism for your own country. Nationalism spreads when people begin to believe that they are all part of a same nation. That how these feelings will develop, that yes, we have a common identity, we all are part of same nation, we all are Indians. So after this, now the major factors which develop this feeling among the Indians. First of all, united struggle. So united struggle, this is the main factor which helped in arousing the sense of nationalism among Indians, were united struggle against the Britishers. So it is the main factor. The main factor which aroused the sense of nationalism was united struggle against the Britishers. So the Indian, whether they were living in the North India or South India, were being oppressed by the same oppressor, that is the Britishers. So same person was oppressing all the Indians. So this is one common factor. United struggle means our enemy was common, that is the Britishers. Then cultural processes. So cultural processes also played a very important role in uniting the masses, in developing the sense of nationalism, the sense of collective identity, common identity among masses. So our history, our common past, our fiction, our literature, folklore, our folk songs, our folk stories, our traditional literature, music, songs, popular print, images of Bharat Mata, our tricolor flag, all this played a very important role in making a sense of common identity, in making of nationalism in Indians. After this, Bharat Mata. Like we have studied the allegories of France and Germany. Like in France it was Marianne and in Germany it was Germania. So they portray their nation through their female allegory. Similarly, in India our female allegory is Bharat Mata. So the identity of India came to be visually associated with the image of Bharat Mata. So we started respecting, we started visualizing our nation as a Bharat Mata, and we pay tribute to the images of Bharat Mata. As such, no, the Bharat Mata is not any female character or any real person in life. No, it's just an allegory. We pay respect. We portray our nation as a, and the image of Bharat Mata was created in 1870 by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, and he also wrote Vande Mataram as a hymn to our motherland, in the praise of our motherland. Now next is the revival of Indian folklore. So the idea of nationalism was also developed by reviving our Indian folklore, our songs, our stories. This also played a very important role. So in the late 19th century, the nationalists, they began recording the folk tales which were sung by the bards, and the folk songs and the folk tales by the legends. So they start touring different parts of our country and they start recording these folk tales and folk songs. So this was very important also to revive our folklore so as to protect our cultural heritage, so as to protect our literature, so as to protect our culture, which has been corrupted and damaged by the Western forces. So the revival of Indian folklore also contributed a lot, and this is also created a sense of common identity among the Indians. So the next point to explain how to create the sense of nationalism, or how to create the sense of common identity among Indians, that we have to see our history, our glorious past from new perspectives. That is a reinterpretation of history we have to do in order to instill the sense of pride among the Indians. So by the end of 19th century, Indians began feeling that to instill this sense of pride among Indians, the Indian history needs to be thought about differently. So there was a need that the Indian history, the perspective need to be changed, and the thought about the Indian history need to be changed. So the Britishers, earlier we have seen the Britishers used to think about Indians that they are primitive, they are backward, and they are incapable of governing themselves. So this was the viewpoint of the Britishers about the Indians, that they are not able to govern themselves, they are incapable, they are primitive, they are uncivilized, and they are backward. So this perception of Britishers need to be changed now. How we can do this? We can do this by looking into our glorious past. So here, in response to this, the Indians began looking into their glorious past to discover India's great achievements, whatever in the past we have achieved. So people start looking towards that and taking inspiration from our glorious past. Then they wrote about the glorious developments in the ancient times. So people, in order to keep them motivated and in order to inspire themselves, they started writing about the glorious past of India in the ancient times. So this is how the reinterpretation of history need to be perceived from the new angle in order to build the confidence among the Indians. So the identity of the nation can be symbolized in form of figure or image, like that of Bharat Mata. So the identity of nation can be symbolized in the form of figure or image like that of Bharat Mata. So now let's discuss the image of Bharat Mata, which played a very important role in uniting the masses. So Bharat Mata, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay created the image of Bharat Mata. So he created during 1870s, he created this image. Now, Abhindranath Tagore also painted her image, that is the Bharat Mata's image, during the Swadeshi movement. Inspired by the Swadeshi movement, Abhindranath Tagore also painted her image. Now, Bharat Mata looked like Sannyasini, and she is calm, composed, divine, godlike figure, spiritual, very religious, and devotion towards her, that is loyalty towards Bharat Mata's image, became the proof of nationalism. So all of the Indians, they were paying respect to the images of Bharat Mata, they were paying tribute to the images of Bharat Mata. As such, in real life, she is not any character, she is not a real life person. This is an allegory of the India which Indians admire and they pay respect to. Next, let's talk about Vande Mataram. Now this is a prayer to our motherland, and Vande Mataram was again written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, and Vande Mataram became the war cry of the Indians during the independence struggle, and it was later included in the novel Nandmath, which was written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. And this song was widely sung during the Swadeshi movement in Bengal. So by the end of 19th century, the nationalists toured the villages, different villages, to collect the folk songs and legends. So we are discussing the revival of the folklore, how to revive our folklore so as to instill the sense of pride among the Indians. So this can be done by reviving our cultural traditions, our cultural literature. So nationalists, they toured the villages to collect folk songs sung by bards and the legends. Now Rabindranath Tagore, he also collected a number of folk songs and legends. And in Madras, Neshta Sastri published a 4-volume collection of Tamil folk tales called The Folklore of Southern India. So this is very important. So they can ask you here 1 mark. Neshta Sastri published which work? So The Folklore of Southern India, or The Folklore of Southern India, published by that Neshta Sastri. So the folk songs and legends gave a true picture of the Indian culture. So in order to know what is a common culture, what is the culture of that place, we need to go deep into the common people, or we need to read the literature for that area. So all this created a national pride among the people. So all this created a national pride among the common people and instilled the sense of pride among them by reviving their cultural traditions. So as the national movement developed, nationalist leaders, they became more and more aware of such icons, images and symbols in unifying people and inspiring in them the feeling of nationalism. So now let's see the designing of national flags. So first, Swadeshi flag. So during Swadeshi movement in Bengal, this was designed, and a tricolor flag it was, red, green and yellow. Very important, the colors please note it down. Red, green and yellow were the colors, and it was having the 8 lotuses which represent the 8 provinces of British India, and then the crescent moon which represent Hindus and Muslims. Then the Swaraj flag, another one, Swaraj flag. Now this was designed by Gandhiji in 1921, and again the tricolor it was, and red, green and white. Please underline these words and please remember these words. It can be asked in 1 mark MCQ. So please, you need to identify the colors of Swaraj flag and the Swadeshi flag. Swadeshi was red, green and yellow, and here in Swaraj, red, green and white. And it had a spinning wheel in the center also. So now the rediscovery of India's past. So in this, earlier also I have told you that the Britishers, they considered Indians as primitive, backward and incapable, and they used to say that Indians were not able to govern themselves or rule them properly. They are not civilized people, they are backward, primitive and incapable. So in the 19th century, some of the educated Indians, they started doing the efforts of rediscovering India's great achievements. So they started looking back into the past, they started looking back into the India's glorious past. So they rediscovered the achievements which were made by the Indians in various fields like art, science, architecture, literature, mathematics, religion, culture, law, trade and craft. So they start rediscovering the achievements made by the Indians in these various areas or the fields. Now the knowledge about the great achievements of the Indians, when we came to know, when we are aware of our glorious past, so this created a national pride. This instilled, the Indians got instilled with the sense of pride, national pride. Self-confidence of the people was increased. Patriotic feelings among the people, among the Indians also got increased when the sense of nationalism developed when they started looking into the glorious part of Indians. So now finally concluding the chapter. So the widespread anger against the Britishers helped in bringing different classes and the groups of Indians into common mass struggle for freedom. So there was only one thing common among all the people of India, that they are being oppressed by the common oppressor, that is the Britishers. So Congress under the leadership of Gandhiji tried to bring all the groups into the united umbrella of mass struggle. But we have seen that different social groups participated in the non-cooperation movement. We have seen tribals, we have seen plantation workers, people in the city, then countryside rebellion we have seen. And then in the case of civil disobedience movement, we have seen the rich peasants, poor peasants, we have seen the industrial workers, business class, women also participated, with different expectations and different desires. So Congress continuously attempted to resolve differences among these social groups. So due to the conflicting demands of these groups, whatever movement Gandhiji used to launch, it used to broke down. So the high points of the nationalist unity were followed by the phases of disunity due to this group and inner conflict between these groups. So in other words, despite of our differences, we were emerging as a nation with many voices wanting freedom from the Britishers. So only one thing was common within us, that we wanted freedom from the Britishers. So that is all with this chapter. For any query, please feel free to ask. Thank you.